You ready for the video?
Oh, yeah.
Present practice. What is vibing? This is Vish and today we'll be responding to Ram Dass's video on
Dissolving your own fear and finding your own beauty.
So today I'm here with
L.
Want to tell us more about yourself?
I am here to just share my own life experience and my perspective, but I also come from a place of humbleness and I don't have all the answers. So thank you for listening to me and Vish today.
We appreciate you.
We are just here to just share what we feel with non-judgment.
Absolutely. And don't forget to check her out. All her stuff will be down below. Ram Dass, how long have you known him for?
Oh, for a couple years now, but deeper and deeper within the past year, I would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ram Dass I've heard so much about. I heard something about how he's big into psychedelics, or at least was, and was one of the first spiritual teachers in the West to open up about the Eastern stuff. But besides that, honestly, I don't know too much, but would love to get into this video with you and learn more.
Yeah, let's do it.
It takes us a long time, many of us longer than others, to come up out of the darkness of our feelings of unworthiness, of unlovableness, of allowing that liquidity to happen, of feeling safe to be in the presence of love. When I first experienced my guru loving me, my mind kept flickering with the thoughts of, if he only knew. And then I realized that he did know. And he was still loving me. And it took me through the and whatever you are, however you are at this moment, when you can accept that you are lovable, then the fear starts to dissolve. It's allowing your own beauty. It's allowing the beauty of your soul, which is behind your personality. It's behind all that stuff. Just another radiant bit of light, another soul. And I think at this moment, it's nothing violent to do. You just observe the kind of sadness, the feeling of loneliness, the feeling of separateness, the feeling of pain. You just watch it and allow it. And don't get too fierce about it, or don't feel too deprived about it, and don't milk the self-pity of it. Just notice that it's just a passing show. It's just another place your mind is grabbing. It's all mind. You realize that. The only thing you're stuck in is not even history. It's just mind. It's a model you have of who you think you are and who you think everybody else is. That's all it is. That's exactly what's causing your suffering at this moment, is your own thought forms. And you're clinging to them and saying, this is real. It's like somebody who sees a rope and they think it's a snake and they get frightened, and then somebody says it's just a rope, and then suddenly they're not frightened anymore. And it's as simple as that. It really is the mind. And that's finally why you're driven to work on your mind, to quiet your mind, because you see the way your personality is really just a series of thoughts that you keep investing. Like the first moment you felt the sadness or the loneliness or the emptiness or the pain, that started a whole track of, oh, this is like I've always felt in the past, and you started to build the whole storyline all over again. And it's at that moment, it's just, sadness. Oh, yes. Comes and goes. Because I would say that most people in this room, if you scratch the surface, you will find some residual unworthiness. From just having grown up on Earth. I mean, it's interesting because you don't understand that the personality itself is rooted in fear and vulnerability. That's where the root is of it. Because you go from being, can you imagine being the baby that is everything in the universe to starting to be this little vulnerable tiny thing? And the first time you realize there are big forces and you're not them, how incredibly inadequate one must feel if you could give words to it. And every one of us has been through that moment. And for most of us, it's buried so deeply, we could never get hold of it.
So that was actually my first ever Ram Dass video. What'd you think of this topic?
I actually really enjoyed this topic. You know, it brings up a lot of great points of you are worthy and you are lovable and you are enough. But when we have experienced any pain or fear or worry, we attach to these things and these memories that we then like the thoughts and the mind, and we associate those two with maybe past trauma or past pain. And really, the mind is in full control here. We attach to these stories that we've held on to for so long. And we are worthy of so much more than we think we're capable of. Yeah.
I love that. And yeah, that was really solid. I mean, what you said as well as what he was talking about. Epictetus, actually, he was a Roman or Greek philosopher, I think. And he talks about how it's not the situation that makes us upset, but it's our thoughts around it. And I think it's as simple as that. Literally the way you perceive something, which is the way your thoughts are interpreting whatever you're looking at, whatever you're seeing, whatever you're hearing. It is those things that make you upset, and you listening to them. As Eckhart Tolle also really beautifully talks about all the time, don't listen to your mind all the time. It just talks, and it'll say a bunch of things, but it's in your control and your choice not to be attached to that, not to listen to it. Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, with that being said, do you ever find yourself getting either misled by your mind, and do you ever find yourself confused with like the intuition versus the mind versus the heart? How do you know what's what?
Of course, I get lost in the mind. You know, I go through cycles, and the mind can be very overpowering, and it's a lot of just limiting stories that hold you back from being this version of yourself that you're striving to become. These stories just, you start to identify and attach to these stories that we have created in our mind, and this reality that we think we understand, but really it's just our thoughts that we've picked up on these things, but have just identified and like created this like story within our own selves that's limiting us from being. But with the mind and with your intuition and with your heart, I feel just within the years of practicing that I have been able to identify what is my mind, what is my intuition, and what is my heart space, and knowing where those voices are coming from. So you can pay attention to your thoughts and the overthinking and the patterns that you can literally feel when your mind is going. You know, as can you as well? Can you feel when you're overthinking and you're in your mind?
Yeah, I will say that with the level of awareness that I have at this present moment, I definitely am able to make the distinction between, actually no distinction, but I'm able to identify when the mind's talking. And I'm even having moments where the mind is not talking at all, and I'm just purely there. I just haven't personally had the experience of the heart space, as you'd mentioned, or even the intuition. Yeah, honestly, I haven't had that. But I have had moments of no thoughts, and I will know how to recognize when the mind is talking.
I think you have had that. You might just not be conscious of it yet.
Possible.
This is how we bring it to the conscious, you know, is rising from the subconscious mind, but it has definitely been there because you have felt your heart space, you have felt your mind, and you have felt your intuition. And, you know, you have identified with the mind and feeling whenever you feel your thoughts, and you also have felt presence and no thoughts, and that's great. Though what I can say, if you don't know what it feels like to tap into the heart or what it feels like from the heart, think of like love, and when you are in a relationship or trying to choose something that you are wanting to do in your life, that's maybe a really big decision, if it's with a lover, if it's with school, if it's with a job, or chasing something that you really want for yourself, that sense of like choosing your heart, like choosing love and choosing family and choosing a partner, like that's when your heart craves to be with someone, even maybe if that person isn't the best for you, but your heart is still craving to be with this person because you love them. That is when it's your heart. But then with your gut, with your intuition, is like, say this person isn't the best for you, and you can notice that the time you're spending with them is not the most positive time spending with them. And it's like, you know, deep down, something's going on. And then, but your heart wants to stay because you love this person. But deep down in your psyche, you know that you must step back. But it's hard to let go because we love to love and we love to be in our heart. But then whenever we're like in our knowing of like, we might need to let go in this situation, you can feel when your mind constantly comes in, because that's when the thoughts start to come. You can like, the first, in my experience, like where my intuition comes from and where I can identify it is it's the first thing that comes up. So when you are introduced to an experience or whatever that is happening in your life, it's the first thing that comes up, your gut. And then the mind comes in, and you can, if you pay close attention to like different experiences and what's going on, you can start to identify what is your inner knowing and your inner, you're just, for some reason you just know, but you don't have any reason behind like your knowing, but you just feel it so deep inside of you. And yeah, and then the heart is love. You want to chase love. You want to feel good. You chase the joy, and you want to feel this. So you can start identifying, and when you do feel love, or when you do feel the thoughts, and you do feel like just knowing something, and you have no idea how you know it, pay attention to those moments, and then you can better understand, like, oh, okay, maybe this is my mind, this is my heart feeling this way, and then this is my gut telling me this, and that can maybe help.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That was really beautifully said and well put as well. And I think it seemed like the common theme here was just awareness, right? Having awareness of your thoughts, having awareness of your heart, having awareness of your intuition. That itself will help you realize what is what. And I would love to hear what you all think. I think Elle really put it well. But if you have different perspectives about the heart space or the intuition, thoughts, you can comment down below.
How do you get into your body, and how do you listen to yourself?
Also, comment that down below. I really enjoyed the conversation I had with you, Elle, and really just learning from Ram Dass as well and being introduced to him. You've given me a great recommendation, so thank you for that.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for opening the space.
Amazing. So with that, make a great day, take it joyfully, and stay conscious. You did great.
Hey, thanks.